Hello and welcome back to another video on Serious About Salvage. We've got another new car in today. A car that I've had already. You'll have seen the thumbnail already. It is a Suzuki Vitara. This one, if you remember the last one, we had a turquoise one. It was a great little car actually. I was quite fond of it. So I had been looking out for another and I picked this one up. It's a little bit newer. It is the facelift version, which there's not a great deal of difference really. I'll point the bits out, but it is a bit of a weird one this. It's not a salvage car. It's not been subject to an insurance claim or anything like that. It was just listed as a used vehicle through an auction, but it does have damage. So yeah, strange one. There's more strange things going on than that as well, so I mean, I'll just spin around. I think we'll have a look around it and I'll tell you what it was listed as and well, what I found really. It's a strange one. So there we go. It is white. It is a Suzuki Vitara. I think it's an SZ3. So it's by no means a base model, but it's also not the top of the range. It's somewhere in the middle. It's a solid white. It's not a pearl. It's a solid under all this dirt. It is a solid white. And obviously by the amount of dust on it, this has been sat somewhere for quite a while, quite evidently. Reason being, no idea. So yeah, this is a, sorry I've got hiccups, a 68 plate. So they classed it as a 2019 onwards. They did a facelift where basically all these bits of silver trim got added and a slightly different design centre grille to house the radar. I don't think there's a great more difference than that, really. So yeah, that's literally some of the damage we've got here. Without obviously pulling the bumper off, I'm not sure exactly what's going on behind there, but I mean, the crash bar would be up here. So I would suggest it's probably missed it. Chassis legs there. Yeah, without taking bumper off, I don't know. We may get to that, we may not. We've got other issues before that. But on the face of it, it's a bumper skin. I don't know if the spotlight's in there, whether it's any good. Can't feel anything, strangely enough. A few bits of trim, centre grille. So yeah, a little bit of damage there, but nothing I don't think that's any great deal. This side, it's perfectly fine. One thing I didn't notice in the photos is this crack in the lens, unfortunately. There is a crack in the lens there, so we'll have to replace that light. Trim's just popped a little bit, bumper's popped, but no damage to the bonnet. We've got a little bit of damage to this rear quarter. And again, you can tell it's been sat a while by the surface rust. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You can just sand that down. It's just surface rust, and I'm going to guess that's probably been knocked out a little bit to look a little bit better by the looks of it. But the main thing, and what something I did check thoroughly on the pictures, was the gap. The gap has been maintained on the door and on the boot lid. So we know nothing's moved. The lights still line up, nice gap all the way around. Nothing's moved on this corner. It's just had some kind of glance here, hasn't it, I think. That's probably pushed that in a little bit and it's been knocked back out. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look all that bad in all honesty to me. I've had a little gander inside it to basically see the extent of that. And I mean, it's not that bad. Most of it's still in shape. Floor's still in shape. Wants a little bit of work, obviously. It's going to need a bit of filler. Going to need a rear bumper skin. But that light's fine. Like I said, the fact that it all lines up, there's no floor damage at all here. yeah. More investigation work is obviously needed. So move round. This side is good. Unfortunately it's got this here, which is going to need to have some attention onto it. And also something else I didn't see on the pictures either. This wheel is not straight. So whatever's come along this side has hit the wheel and it's bent the rear axle a little bit. I couldn't see that on pictures. I mean, it's obvious now. The wheel is broken as well, and it needs a rear axle. Looking underneath it, there's no damage to the actual floor of the car. There's no damage to the mounting points for the axle. There won't be any issues there. It won't be that difficult to put right. That axles are quite easy to get hold of. So yeah, right. So this car, as you can see, this is how it was listed. These pictures, used, so not a salvage vehicle, not subject to insurance, and it said it had no key. So listed as a non-runner, non-driver, no key. So when I collected it, which was only a couple of days ago, I've not really messed with it, I just got it back, had a little look round it. When I collected it, there was a key, and it was zip tied to the seatbelt, and it does work. So it does work. So you're right. So at that point, I've just locked it. Let's jump in and let's see what happens. Inside, there's not a speck of damage. It's actually in really good condition. Nice and clean. Floor mats have been taken out. And weirdly, that piece of trim has been moved down there. Now you see my dongle's in there. I did scan it the other day before I left because I was too eager. So basically, we put the key in. All lights up. I've no padlock signs, so that key does match to this car. But we've got a load of codes come up, and turn the volume down. Basically, put the clutch down. We'll go to try and start it, and it just cranks and cranks and cranks and cranks, and doesn't attempt to fire. There is fuel in it. Not sure why all the door symbols are flashing, but we've got start stop, we've got an exclamation. Something else was up there a second ago there, low tyre pressure warning. Yeah, but look, 19,000 miles. It's a very low mileage car, which is why it looks so good inside. Really good condition. Locking wheel, nut key. Yeah, one key, but I mean, one key is a bonus when you're not expecting any. So that's where I'm up to, really. This is where I left it, because like I said, I brought it back at night. Just had a quick look over them. I always do, because I can't go home and be thinking about it all night. I'm wondering what the hell's going on. I always have a quick go at them, see what happens. And this is where I got to. So yes, we have a key, but it won't start, which is a weird one. So at this point, first thing I think to do is scan it, get that scanner turned on, scan it, and just see what it brings up. But I haven't showed you under here yet, and I'm not sure, I don't think you'll be surprised to hear that, like all new modern cars, it's got a 1 litre in it, 1 litre 3-cylinder petrol turbo. What's the world turned into? So I don't know what the engine's like, no idea. I don't know whose engine it is. Is it a Suzuki engine? Is it someone else's engine? I don't know. I think it doesn't look like an EcoBoost. I know it's called a booster jet. I'm presuming it's a Suzuki engine. I think they do their own engines, so I have to have some research if they're any good. But I mean, it is what it is. It's a 1 litre boost jet turbo. I think 115 horse, so it's not going to be no rocket shit, but it probably gets down the road just fine. So let's try and figure out why this won't run. I'll get the scanner up, get some results on the screen, and we'll have a look and see if we can figure out what's going on. Right, the scan's complete, and this is a first. It's only managed to find one control module, which is the body control module, which is slightly strange. It has a fault, so we will look at it. I can't remember now. On the turquoise one, did I even need to scan it? All that had was a door, wasn't it? 2 doors. I probably didn't even need to scan it. Some cars can be really funny with these generic scanners. But anyway, let's have a look. See if it does shed any light. Trouble codes. Current. Lost communication with ECM. Engine control module, I'm presuming. Lost communication with the engine control module. Well, that kind of makes sense because it won't start. Lost communication with engine control module. So I'm presuming that's the engine ECU. And I'm guessing that's it there. And I mean, let's have a look. It's definitely plugged in. Where's my torch? I think I put it on charge. Like the little LEDs, side lights. DRLs, sorry. Lost communication with ECM. It's got to be that ECU on it, engine control module. And it's all plugged in. Okay. When I think about the history of this car now, it's obviously been sat in a yard for quite a while, and 100% they've tried to start this car once that key arrived. The key situation, what I'm going to presume has happened, which happens quite a lot to be fair, these cars get recovered quite often with no keys. They'll make the advert for their auction site, and at some point before the car goes through, the key will be posted to them. That generally happens quite a lot. And they don't tend to always update the adverts, so the key has, I've had that happen quite a few times, the key. So when this key turned up, there's 100% chance they've tried to start this. So obviously they use boost packs, they have a big battery on a trolley with some leads. I've had in the past damage caused by trying to jump start a car. Certain cars can do strange things, like the newer Mercedes with the electronic ignition, like in this Vito actually. If you leave the key in the ignition and put a boost pack to them, they can surge and destroy the electronic ignition module. I don't know about these cars, I really don't, but I mean, is it a possibility trying to jump start it has fried the ECU? Lost communication, I mean, there's loads of things we need to check now, to be honest with you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to Google that code. It was U0100. See if that sheds any light on it. And at that point, what the most sensible thing to do from here is to check all the fuses, because the ECU will be protected by a fuse. If they've tried to jump it and cross the terminals or something, anything, I don't know, something, or put too much power to it, perhaps it's popped a fuse. That could be a very likely scenario. It's just strange that all the ignition comes on, it cranks, the engine sounds fine, it sounds like it's compression, everything else works, just won't fire. So starter motor's obviously getting power. The ECU's just obviously not telling it to spark or probably inject fuel either, which is not why it's not firing. Yeah, let me just do a bit of research and see if I can get us pointed in the right direction, maybe see if we can figure this out. I hope that ECU is fine, because modern cars, everything's coded. You can't just change ECUs. The immobiliser will be coded into that, I would have thought. The keys as well, probably. It becomes a big job to try to sort cars like this when there's electrical damage. Anyway, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I'll do a bit of research and I'll come back in a minute, hopefully with some good news. Right, so yeah, a Google search, I mean, it didn't bring up all that much information, just literally, like I said, lost communication to engine control module. It is the engine ECU that it's referring to, and they are quite readily available for like £100 on eBay, but like I said, they are coded. There is a couple of companies that I could try that may be able to test that ECU, but like I said, there's other things we need to do, and that's check fuses, and that's what I've been doing. So the two ECU boxes, or not ECU boxes, fuse boxes on this car, you've got your engine compartment one here, that cover on it, and there is one in the passenger footwell. See if that door will open. I haven't been in there yet because I went for the easy one first. Let's have a look. On the internet shows it in the footwell on the left side, just on that corner, behind the corner piece. Subsequently, that's been taken off that side. But I have been checking these fuses, and obviously you've got to bear in mind there is the main fuses as well on the positive battery lead. See if we can get you in there. See all them, but they all look fine. Yeah, so what I've seen, I mean, this is your fuse box here, all your fuses. I've buzzed them all out, the ones that I can, obviously the big ones, it's just visual. I mean, you can pull them and go on the prongs underneath. I haven't gone that far yet. The one thing I've noticed is there's like a space where a relay should be, and the connectors are there. So like in this one here, there's no connectors in that one. I'll get a torch. There's no connectors in the middle one there, but on that one there is. Doesn't mean necessarily there's supposed to be something there, but the fact that there is power to, I'll show you, 2 prongs inside where it looks like a relay should be. There and there, and nothing on the other 2. So there's wires under there, and in my experience, this fuse box design will be used on every single Suzuki Vitara, and they just add the connections underneath for all the extra accessories, like they can come with 4-wheel drive these, for instance, so there'll be something else in there for the 4-wheel drive controller. But then when it doesn't need it, it would be blank in my experience and not have connectors there. But then when you look in this like section here is this where it says number 1, and there's nothing in it. So I'm slightly confused really, because it don't make sense. Why would there be wires there with power going in if nothing was supposed to be there? But I mean, there's nothing lying around like something's been taken out. So yeah, it's a weird one. What I'm thinking, I don't know where to go from here. Excuse me. Don't know where to go. I want to try relaying this, because it's going to bug me until I do, and I need to know. It's weird. Why would the where can I find a relay? Probably get one out of one of these. It all depends if it's the right relay. I don't know much about relays. That's the problem. I've got that. I've got that S1 loom up there, haven't I? That's the whole loom from the car. There'll be relays in that. Interesting. Let me have a look for a relay. One moment. Right. I found 3 relays. They're all the same, funnily enough, in that Audi loom. And there's the Audi logo. There's a diagram there. 1, 2, 3 and 5, the terminals. So 4 terminal. It's the same pattern as that, isn't it? And if we look at the diagram, so 1 and 2 are connected, which is going to be that way. So that would bridge power from that one. Let me get a torch. Sorry, it's a bit awkward. It's a small area. That would bridge power from that one to that, and then that 3 and 5 will then be connected from the current from 1 and 2. That'll draw that connection together. I'm just concerned that it might do more damage than good. Should we? I'm gonna have to try it. Let's do it. See if it fits at least. It does fit. It does fit. Interesting. Let's have a look. Oh, I just heard a fuel pump. And the lights aren't flashing. The seatbelt lights aren't flashing. There's no hazard, it can't be as simple as that. Should we try it? Clutch down. Whoa, what the hell? That started straight up. What is going on here? There's no lights on. That's crazy. Due service. I don't get it. What the hell? The engine sounds like your typical 3-cylinder engine, but it sounds fine. That's crazy. What the hell's gone on there then? What the hell's gone on with this car? Why is that relay missing? Has it been sabotaged by its previous keeper? I don't get it. That's weird as hell. Turn it back off for a minute. Why? Weird. What has gone on? I'm confused. Was it? Well, the only thing I can think of is whoever owned it has done that to try to get it written off. I can't think of any other reason why someone would pull that fuse to stop it running, and the fuse isn't anywhere to be seen. That's weird. I mean, there's no reason for the salvage yard to do that. It makes it worth less, and the lower the sale price, the less commission they get. So I don't understand. The only thing I can think of is, well, someone's obviously deliberately removed that to stop it from running for some reason, and I don't know what that reason is. But I mean, hey, that's my gain at the end of the day, isn't it? This was supposed to have no key at the end of the day, but it has a key, and with a little bit of investigation of the work, if that is even a word, we've got it running. I need to run it up to temp now, don't I, and see if any issues develop, and see if there's a reason why they've done that. But the car's got 19,000 miles on it, and it sounded fine then. It started up again. Actually, we'll try the should we try the gears as well? Won't obviously go anywhere because it's on the ramp. The fuel pump instantly primes up. It starts up great. Sounds really good as well. I'll put it in first. Tried to move, it must be on the floor. Well, it tried to move anyway. My bad. Well, it tried to move. I'm not doing that again. I'm going to end up driving it off ramp. But it sounds great. It does sound great. The engine sounds fine, in my opinion. I will let it run for a bit now and make sure. Well, that's such a strange one, isn't it? That's something maybe I need to be looking out for in the future. Someone's obviously done that for some reason. And like I said, the fact that this isn't an insurance car, I don't know what's going on with it. I honestly don't know what's going on with this car. It's a mystery. But I mean, in terms of me, I'll get it repaired, and it will be a great car. Actually, it will turn out to be a great car. It's not that much to do. I mean, I don't expect to find much behind there. I don't really. If I do, I mean, we're going to do that in another video. If I do, we'll put it right. That rear quarter won't take much work to put right. Needs a little bit of fettling, obviously. Obviously, it'll have to have some filler. It'll be painted. Another bumper skin. Rear arch. Make sure nothing else is going on under there. Rear axle and the wheel. Make a nice car. Low mileage for 19,000 miles. It will be a nice car. That's so strange that I don't really know what to say now in terms of that relay. But yeah, that's going to be. Oh, just come down off idle, off a cold start. I need to find a headlight. Yeah, that's going to be it for this video. What a strange one. What do you think, guys? Why has someone pulled that fuse? Like I said, just quickly off the top of my head, all I can think of is whoever's had this bump has done it. I mean, I might be way wrong here. I don't know. Someone's done it, haven't they, deliberately at the end of the day? Someone's took that fuse, that relay out, stop it running, in my opinion. I will do some research now on this relay, make sure that it's right. If not, I'll get the right one for it. And then we need to find some parts. In the next video, we'll start pulling it apart, try to do something with that rear quarter. And yeah, the rear axle and stuff like that, and see how it goes. Well, see how we go with it. But so far, I'm puzzled. I'm intrigued, but I'm very happy with it actually. Really happy with it. So thank you as always for watching. Massively appreciated. I hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah, put in the comments what you think the deal is with that relay. It's a weird one. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.